distinguished guests, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, friends and enemies.
All right, so welcome to this week's episode of Make It Plain. This is a special feature we're going to do with Busayo Twins. So there's no intro for me this time. We're just here. We really enjoyed the conversation last time. So we're going to get into what's been happening around. Well, we know what's been happening the big
Yeah.
news week. But yeah, how are you doing anyway, Busayo?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. This is, I guess, the morning of the presidential election result, and it's raining here. It's cold, it's grey. It is a great depiction and illustration of everything that is going on in the world and in America. So I feel like I'm just feeling like what is happening. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I'm just, if it was sunny today, I'd be worried.
Okay.
If it was warm, I'd be worried. I'd be like, someone out here is happy, and I'm not sure why. So at least we're in sync with the environment on this, you know?
Yeah, this is the weather. To be honest, I knew like Trump was always going to win. It was obvious. I'd said it for
Yeah.
a long time. She had no chance. But still, having said that, still it's weird. Still a bit weird. Like I'm still kind of surprised, even though I'm not really surprised. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think nothing's changed fundamentally in what we know America to do with its political system and its outcomes. I think we're not surprised. This is the second time Trump has been president, so at least the novelty has worn off, you know, that they could elect somebody like this. But I think it's more just like the future of the Democratic Party or the center in America. I know all around the world, I think this is more what is interesting, what we're going to see moving forward in terms of especially what the UK does in response. Because what we've seen before now is Trump does not like Keir Starmer. He doesn't rate Keir Starmer, let's say that. He doesn't rate the Labour Party. He's a really big fan of, obviously, Nigel Farage and the right wing. So I wonder what that does to the UK. Like, does it push us closer to now Europe and finding our feet there, even though we voted to leave? Or do we kind of lap it up and go, you know what? Because we're also in an economic crisis, let's just try and side with Trump and see what we can get from this.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. David Lammy came out saying congratulations. So I guess.
Oh, who cares about David Lammy? Honestly, I feel like that man. Oh my God, that man. But they also showed like a side-by-side tweet, isn't it? Or like 2017, him going like to Daily Mail, just really insulting Trump and going, no, we shouldn't have him. And now he's like, congratulations, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're in the house, isn't it? That's what happens when you're in the house.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think with America, I mean, Trump, it's white supremacy, isn't it? But I think one of the things that's going to happen now is they're going to blame black men. And
you think they're going to blame black men?
They already started blaming black men, or black men voting, black men. I just want to point out that 78% of black men voted for Kamala Harris. That's a massive majority of black men.
Yeah.
The main black men. The problem is white women. That's how I knew she wasn't going to win, because you can't trust white women to do nothing.
Even on abortion rights, you think that would be the one thing that was like, as women, it's like, no, we're always going to show you that it's not as women. I don't know.
That 52%, that's 3 times in a row. 3 times in a row, majority of white women voted for Trump every single time.
See, this is the thing with politics, right? And like demographic, ethnic breakdowns is that white people are so under-researched in their behavioral patterns. They always look, and I get the idea of like the responsibility feels like, or the obligation of those of us who are heavily affected by America's policy, whether foreign or domestic, feels like we should speak up more. But women, white people in general, I feel like they're under-researched. And I think this is where Trump is able to kind of galvanize them as an ethnic group or as a demographic group, which the Democrats don't. And so with white women, I'm always interested to be like, how would they justify this? But I guess what is appealing to Trump? What is appealing to them about Trump? The family structure. He does not represent a family structure anyway, but that's besides the whole point. Family structure. People say it's the economy, but I think I think Kamala was really difficult to get behind. I think she was very uninspiring. I think as a woman myself, you wouldn't be able to tell me as a woman vote for Kamala.
Really?
Yeah, there's no way. I would never vote for someone for their gender anyway. I'm not that person. You would never get me to be like, she's going to be the first black, but you're going to be the first black president, black female president of the United States. Is that an achievement? To me, it's like, wow, it's your turn to ride the imperialist machine.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I'm just like, you couldn't get me to vote for someone because they're women.
Even when it's Trump. Even when the alternative is Trump, still won't make you think.
I was thinking this. Actually, let me ask you. If you were American or you could vote in the American elections and this was your choice, who would you have voted for?
I think because I spoke to Renee Johnston, who's American last week,
Mm,
and she was saying, look, can't vote for Kamala Harris, and I wouldn't support, like, I'm not as a supporter of Kamala Harris at all.
yeah.
But I think I'd probably do what I did in the UK election, which is, my vote here don't count, so I vote for Malcolm X. Like, it's because I live in where I live, it don't really matter, right? And if I lived in a place that didn't matter, I'd probably vote for Malcolm X again. But
Yeah.
in a swing state, I'd probably avoid Kamala Harris, honestly, just because
Yeah.
Trump can do damage. Like, he can do damage, especially if they win. It looks like they're going to win the Senate. Looks like they might win the House.
Yeah.
You can get some damage can be done. So in a
Mm,
swing state, I probably would avoid.
mm.
Just
But it would all be because of who Trump is and what he's capable of versus who Kamala is and what she's capable of.
Oh yeah, I mean, neither of them are going to save us. Neither of them are good.
Yeah, yeah.
The White House is none of them are good. I wouldn't vote thinking I was going to get much, but I guess it
Mm,
makes a little bit of a difference.
yeah.
Maybe not a big difference, but it makes the small difference matters. I
I
think.
definitely think that, yeah, what we've seen from Kamala and Biden, so in the recent history, so therefore voting for them to stay in office seems like it's less damage
Yeah,
because it's you continuing the damage that you've already done. It's not the absence of damage, it's just being like, okay, let's just continue the damage that we've already done. But Trump's one, that one is just, yeah, I just don't think, I just don't know. But I don't understand the whole Trump thing anyway. Like, I know I've read all these articles and books on like Trump and, his rise. And I just don't think anyone can tell me how he got there.
I mean, it's a standard. That's what I'm saying. The standard he's terrible. He's a terrible candidate, right? Last time, 100 what? About 100, at least 100,000 more people died because of COVID because it was so bad. Like, it was so bad, it was a joke, his response. Then you got January the 6th and the not giving up the election. Then you got he's a felon. Then you got grabbed by the pussy, which is early. You got they're eating the cats and dogs. I mean, he literally stood
Yeah,
on stage and said Haitians are eating the cats and dogs. Like, he's not a serious person.
mad, mad.
Like, that is white privilege. I tell you, Trump is white privilege in human form. Like, there's no way. Like,
Yeah,
that
they
is
would rather have such a candidate than a black woman.
yeah.
Like, you would rather just have somebody who's white. Like, as long as they're white and they are like white supremacists in their approach, white people want that. But I'm like, how bad is it in America, like economically, for them to think that he is the solution to their problems? Because outside of race, I know it is a big race thing, obviously, because she is a black woman and, me and you are black people and all that stuff. But I just don't think it's a racialized conversation. I struggle to see, apart from like, as you mentioned, the whiteness, the white vote, and how what they consider to be threats and opportunities, and how they galvanize behind people and all that stuff. But outside of this, what it seems like is America just wants something done. They just want to have that sensationalist shock factor again. When Trump was around, it was somebody who felt like he was acting like he was in control, even when he wasn't.
Yeah.
And they want a nice bedtime story. I think Americans really right now, they want a nice bedtime story. Kamala wasn't going to read them a nice story to go to bed.
Yeah.
Trump would read you a nice story and let you know that we are the leaders of the West in this. We can do this. All you have to do is close the borders. It's solutions that are not solutions to issues that
Yeah.
are bigger than that. So I just think I'm not sure how. I don't know how far American can take this way of voting though. I don't know how far they're going to push it, because after Trump, who's next? I'll get a bats in it. Oh no,
I mean, that's the worrying thing. Who's next? I
his
think
VP is worse, isn't it?
I
It's
mean, they're
crazy.
all terrible. But I think the thing the right wing gets good, and Trump does really well, is actually about emotion, and
Mm,
it's not
mm,
about like facts. Like, if you're looking at this factually, like rationally,
mm.
Trump wouldn't even be a candidate.
Facts.
It's about emotion, like, and he taps into that
Mm,
emotion, make America.
mm.
When he got shot, I mean, when they had that fake assassination attempt, that was probably when it comes out that was fake. I promise you that was fake.
My thing is, if I was shot, yeah, forget me even running as a president candidate. If I was shot, bro, I'll be talking about this. I'll still have the thing on. Like, I would like to think like I'm still a patient of some type. My man was just like, it was 2 days later, we weren't talking about it. And that was an assassination.
Yeah, it did happen. That's why it did happen.
I'm just like, sir, you didn't even use it as part of your campaign. Like, are you all right? Like, a man had the opportunity to still put his hand up when all the Secret Service was around him.
Great picture, great theater.
He's so ridiculous.
Gotta
He's
give
so
him credit. Showman. It's a great showman.
so
Well,
ridiculous.
But
But
that,
then now, yeah, so I don't know with the UK. Now we've got Nigel Farage here who's gonna be louder than ever.
yeah, God, it just, I don't know, man. Like it doesn't matter. Like I want on one level, it doesn't make it that much of a difference.
Mm,
I'm like, kind of the same.
yeah.
But on the other level, it does make a difference. Like it
It
just,
makes a lot, yeah. In terms of how we feel, as you said, like emotions, how we feel, we're still struggling. We're still going through what we're going through economically, all this type of stuff. We're still going through all these things. And so therefore, to do it with Trump now, you know what I mean? We're already suffering, times are already hard, but then to have somebody who doesn't take that office serious, or a person who is provocative, you
yeah,
know, you're gonna entrench us into, well, I say us, I'm not American, thank God, but the world anyway, because now
yeah,
when America, you know, sneezes, we all catch a cold. Um, you're, I guess, issues like the genocides in Gaza,
yeah.
Ukraine. Unfortunately for Ukraine, this was bad because Trump does not give a heck about Ukraine. Trump, there's one thing that Trump don't care about is Ukraine.
Yeah, you don't give it. Well, I mean, it might end the war. I mean, it's ironically it might end one more might end.
But yeah, he will, because he's just gonna not supply nothing. Like, he's just gonna stop supplying.
Keep
He
supplying
doesn't.
Israel, but not Ukraine. So
Yeah, Ukraine. That's the one I'm thinking about. I really do wonder how he's gonna, that Trump Hamas interaction.
well, no, I mean, this is the thing for people who didn't vote for Kamala because of Israel. This is
Mm,
not better. And actually, already saw last night. What's his name? Netanyahu fired his. I don't know the guy's
yeah,
name, but the
yeah, his defense, yeah, secretary.
secondary, one liberal person in the thing, got rid of him because he got Trump now. You don't need to pretend. You don't need to do that.
Exactly.
That's gonna get worse. Israel, actually, the Israel Palestine is gonna get way worse now.
Yeah, yeah,
Trump don't
yeah.
give a Trump don't care. So
He don't care. The only thing that could work in the world's favor is if Netanyahu ridicules Trump and makes it look like, to say Israel is controlling American
yeah,
politics. I think that's one thing that people like Trump can't stand, is being the second guy.
yeah,
Run around. Netanyahu would have to play it in a way where it's like, you're my big brother, you know, like, or we're equals in this. The moment Trump gets a whiff
Mhm.
that Israel thinks it can control America, that's when tensions come. So that's the only thing I can pray for, is
Yeah.
that Trump's like, how dare you? We can still XYZ. And I'm hoping the movement that is saying stop sending arms to Israel and fund America really picks up steam. I think it's a really strong argument. I do think, outside of the morality of it, I think the economic thing is a strong argument. But the sensible people tend not to have good, like, I don't know, like catchphrases. Like, they can't galvanize people behind sensible issues. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know why they can't articulate themselves in this way, but yeah.
Yeah. And the other problem is Trump isn't really isn't well, Trump is a problem, but it's the people around Trump who are way more clever than Trump doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
That's the bigger problem. And there are some
Yeah.
terrible figures around Trump who are gonna do
Yeah.
whatever they want to do in it now. So
Yeah. And they're gassed. Like, when you hear people who are advisors to Trump, it's their win.
yeah,
They were able to pick somebody who shouldn't be nowhere near decisions
yeah,
and make him into a president for the second time. It's not Trump's victory, it's their victory. They've proven, they've created now, well, not created, I mean, I guess it's always been around, but they've really updated how to create a politician. That's a great book for them. How to create a politician in the modern world, with sensationalism, populism, all that stuff.
Mhm.
That is a great blueprint
Yeah,
for the Democrats or whoever to use. But the Democrats and centrism and all this kind of stuff is dead. I don't know what's gonna come out of like the gap that the center has left. But whatever it is, it needs to replace the center.
yeah,
Even if it's not technically, but in its aesthetic,
mhm.
like,
Yeah.
common sense needs to come back with a leather jacket. You know what I mean? Or a new hairstyle, because I, you know, and that's even being polite, saying center, because obviously center is not necessarily common sense, but that middle ground, the revamp needs to come, because the left is not going to bring people to. I don't think the left has the, like, popularity
Mhm.
for people to galvanize behind the left in a very direct way and go, oh, I'm on the left, it's not gonna work. The center is still a place where most people feel like they can exist, and is more appealing. But I just don't know who in the world can carry the center.
I don't know. Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer got us to the center right.
Yeah, center right. I don't know.
But you just need to figure. You need to figure like this is what the Democrats miss, and left wing generally misses. Democrats aren't left wing, but you need a You need a figure. And this is
Yeah.
where whiteness plays into it. Even with Biden and that, it was still about whiteness because there's a
Mm.
joke. What is it? Chris Rock made a joke years ago about George W. Bush, who was the least sensible president previously. And it's like, well, the C student can become president. If you're white, the C student can become president.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is
That's
worse.
the only that's the only type of student that they
Yeah,
pick.
yeah, you don't need to be good. You need to be exceptional. Like Obama,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Facts.
you gotta be exceptional.
Yeah,
But if you're
yeah,
white, you just gotta be the C student, right?
yeah.
But Trump's like not even a student. Like he didn't even get into college. He's
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
so and that's whiteness. I mean, that's whiteness embodied,
Yeah.
right? So,
It's true. Whiteness. And it wouldn't even be a problem if you didn't go to school, but you had like other experience or other
yeah,
things. But it's just like you're proud of just, I don't know, man. It's a what a time. I don't know what the qualities, what are the good qualities of Kamala?
no, that's the other problem. Like, who could defend Kamala? Like, what can you say? Like,
I
what
know.
quality does she have? She's not Trump. That was the only thing. She's not Trump.
I
She's not old.
know.
She's not old. That was the other thing.
Yeah.
She's qualified. That qualified thing is such a stupid thing. Like, people don't look for qualifications when they want.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is such a stupid thing. So also, what makes you qualified to be the president of the United States?
Yeah.
I don't think you have to be well read. I don't think that's America's problem. I don't think America doesn't know what's going on. I think you have to be the most loyal to the American project that you could be, and someone who's ready to make those decisive actions on behalf of America and have its base not feel like it is doing something wrong. If you can do that, then America needs you.
Yeah.
America needs someone who can really be like, yeah, I'm unapologetic. I can't fall short of a standard I never compared myself to or measured myself from. The thing about the Democrats, and sometimes, yeah, like the center left or the Democrats particularly, you're also held by standards that you know it's impossible for you to protect. But that was your storyline for the whole time, is that we're better than the Republicans because we're progressive and we're all these things. But reality has shown that you're not all any of these things. So what are you? And they couldn't have anything to say. It was abortion rights. You're not doing anything with abortion. You're just maintaining what was already there before they repealed Roe versus Wade. You didn't add anything. You're not saying I'm going to do more than what was happening. Your thing was to preserve the status quo. No one likes the status quo. Everyone's poor in the status quo. Everyone's tired. Everyone's unhappy. What exactly are you defending?
Yeah.
And that's what she did. And Biden decided to pretend that he was a 50-year-old man for until the day he decided to I was like, sir, you've been this way for ages.
Yeah.
So it's the Democrats lost it themselves, man. They lost it themselves. And I don't see them even winning it. I see Trump doing it 8 years.
Yeah.
Unless he says, I want my VP to stand in for me because I'm actually tired. Trump's gonna get bored of being a president as well. He likes the elections. I don't think being president is his thing.
Yeah. He's only got 4 years. He never do much. He just turns on.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's 4 years, yes. Enough to oversee the destruction of the world. I don't think you need more time than that. Do you know what I mean?
Can you end the world in 4 years?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Exactly. But his VP is mad. The Democrats, I think they're over, man.
I mean, really, Biden should have stepped down a long time. Kamala was not the one. She wasn't the one. Like everybody knew she wasn't the one.
Yeah.
And then just kind of try to convince themselves. But there was so many. I was listening to this podcast yesterday, and the Democrats were so confident. They were confident. They really thought they were going to win. Really thought they were going to win.
I genuinely thought if the only way Democrats could win is if something fishy happened. The way those ballot boxes started to set on fire, I said, Lord have mercy. Is it your first election? You think they haven't done this before? I said, these ballot boxes that are disappearing, the technical issues. I said, yeah, of course.
Yeah. They should have stopped the election. That's what it is to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't yeah, it's a tough one with Kamala. And I think they were saying something like not that if he had stepped down. I don't know. Do you think he would have if he had stepped down earlier? I'm trying to remember this whole sequence of events that just seems like a little theater play, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Democrats lost it. They had no chance. They have no one else to.
Yeah, who else?
To fill up. Even in the next 5 years, 4 years, who's gonna come up? Kamala, you can't rerun. You're out of here, man. It's out of here.
Lost bad. She didn't even just lose a bit. She lost bad. It looks like she might even lose a popular vote, which is not what was expected. This is a transient. She got destroyed. Like it wasn't. There's no like next. We'll find out next week. He said, "Look, you just lost. Really bad."
It's rough. It's real rough for America right now. I think America needs privacy during this time. I think we need to respect America's privacy.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I wouldn't even want this showcased, broadcasted that. But for the international institutions that still have maybe an ounce of credibility, we know, whatever, this is the moment that I think the world needs to really accept that America is not going to take you into the new frontier of progressive politics or defender of whatever it is that they thought they were defending. I think the role of America in international politics has very, 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 very obviously changed and shifted, and in a good way. I think it's important that the self-destruction domestically is in sync with the foreign the foreign policy failures as well. So now we can see, it's a trend. America is on it's a downward spiral that it's military and it's economic, like GDP didn't really show, it didn't really indicate. That's what it hides behind, this kind of like very fragile economy and all that stuff. But now it's going to give the likes of its enemies a lot more confidence to move without America. I think that's all we could do as a global society, is really isolate America now and really make America work for what it's saying. Like, it's the best time. It's clearly divided. It's clearly a rogue state or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And it gets to a point where the rest of the world now has to take up the responsibility now to shape the world. We've relied on America for a lot of stuff. Because we keep looking for America to fund this or fund that. If America doesn't fund it, it doesn't happen. Everyone has to step up now. So when I see the BRICS linking up, I'm like, I hope you're doing something with this. I hope the BRICS are really like, you've been next up for like 20 years. Everyone's been saying the potential of the BRICS, but now it's the first time where it's like, get your act together. Not just economically, but politically now. You really have to decide what is the future of the international order. Because it's not America. America can't do it.
No, Trump, leader of the free world.
You can't, nah, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It needs to. I think that's the biggest takeaway for me, is that, yeah, great, perfect. America, you're no longer part of the conversation in any useful way, and then because America and Israel and whoever is any of its allies, they can only go so far for so long in this way. It still costs money to keep up a war. It requires. There's still going to be elections within these wars. So maybe this one wasn't the war that broke the camel's back, or it wasn't. But the next one, you can't justify this if the economy doesn't pick up.
Yeah.
How long are you going to keep fighting for?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then other wars will probably prop up. So how are you going to divide yourself along? Do you know what I mean? So it's unsustainable anyway. So I think the international order should really pick up and go, you know what? Yeah, let's isolate America. I don't think America's the future of this world anyway.
Hopefully not. If that's a good thing, right? If that's
hopefully. Unless they get another Obama type-esque figure, and then now we're back to yes, we can again.
Yes, we can.
So
talking about black people, I guess we have to hit the black people thing, because I mean, black men, 20% voted for Trump. I mean, is a lot for black people, not generally.
Yeah,
he was definitely got more of the black male vote
than he needed, and people are saying just the male vote in general is this whole like misogynistic Andrew Tate-ification, which I'm not sure, I don't know much about in terms of how it affects America and the age, but I know in the UK there's a lot of conversation about young men leaning more towards the right, and they believe it's because of the social media and how people, the likes of Andrew Tate's, have filled in that gap and so maybe that is it, I don't know. But then I do understand how, based on what I understand of black men sometimes in politics, I see they like to go for that paternalistic figure.
Yeah.
There's something very paternalistic about how men navigate politics. And obviously there's so many men who have voted for Kamala, but I feel like there's a paternalistic thing about people like Trump that can still attract men.
Yeah.
And of course, black men, if you're going to be disproportionately impacted economically by, America's domestic policies, it only seeks to radicalize you.
Yeah.
In the wrong direction, always, because, you know what I mean? But that's all you can do, innit? I guess people feel like all they can do in their voting. And then you got this stupid, and I don't understand why the Democrats brought out all these people who are affiliated with the Diddy case to come and say vote Democrats. I didn't understand that move. I think that was the move that I was like, so you're bringing up these people that could be on this list.
Maybe they were trying to tap it into misogyny. They were like, yeah, this is tapping into misogyny.
Or they were saying, listen, darling, I'm gonna market you. I'm gonna represent. I'm gonna whatever it is, promote you. But should this get to a point where there's convictions and charges, I hope you protect me. That's what it seems like to me. It seems like there's a
Yeah.
promise that if it gets to a level, you're going to be pardoned or reduced because it don't make sense. It don't make sense.
Yeah.
It's such a silly thing. And I think also the Beyonce's role in politics is also very much diminished.
Yeah. He thinks she's not.
Nah, I think BLM was her heyday.
Yeah.
BLM was her heyday. It was like, oh, you're political in an almost unoffensive way because when it comes to Black Lives Matter, it was almost like, who is your opposition?
Yeah. There's
You know
no.
what I mean? Nothing's going to be done about it, but
Yeah.
it's not really radical. Like Black Lives Matter, stop killing us. We're not asking for anything. That's cool. But ever since that, I think she kind of regrets kind of like speaking on politics because there's a lot more now that people have asked of her when it's come to the genocides and stuff that she didn't step up to the plate. So yeah, I think the whole
Yeah, that whole strategy to get black voters was just terrible. The whole platform she had for black men was terrible. Just everything about it was bad. Like,
yeah, everything was bad. But I'm happy that it wasn't well, I know you said now that people are saying it's the black man who lost Harris the vote. But I kind of feel like leave black people out of this. I mean, I don't think we're responsible for this.
Oh no, is it 84% black people voted for Harris?
Yeah, I'm like proud in the sense of you didn't vote Trump, not proud that you voted Democrat.
Yeah.
But black for the first time, we're not involved. I genuinely am gassed. Like no one's gonna come here and say we did this. We didn't do it. What I saw about Latino men.
Latino men, 54% majority.
What is going on?
Yes. Latino generally, so one of my biggest issues when we talk about people of color, particularly in America, we talk about people of color. They ain't people of color. Like if you're from like Ecuador, Brazil, and you're white there, you're just white. And you move to America, you don't become a person of color, you're a white person.
Right.
And the majority of Latinos in America refer to themselves as white. They will tick white on the box.
Okay.
We're assuming they're our friends. They're not our friends. They're just white people. They're white people. Italians. Right. So what we're seeing is they're tending to vote way more Republican. But why are we surprised? Because they're white. They're white people. Right? I don't know.
That's a good point, man. Yeah, America's demographics and the way they vote just always seems it reminds me how different we are to America, outside of the fact that obviously we're not America, but the different people really make the electoral system what it is. But listen, America, if you're listening, do you know what I mean? Listen, you gotta sort this out yourself. You gotta sort it out yourself because how many times does the world have to tell you? I think I even saw like George the Poet do a video that was kind of directed at Black Americans the other day. It was like Black Americans like figure it out. And it made me think, yeah, everyone is just looking at America like, please, like, if you come across this video, like, I know you've lived there for your whole life and whatever, but listen, I know what's best for you. But yeah, America is sad. It's a sad state of affairs, but also, I just think it needs to collapse. The whole thing, the whole international order needs to collapse in a way where I know it's sad because it never collapses in a way that feels fair or feels nice, and the people will still suffer. But at the end of the day, there's no reform possible now. Reform is just it's not there. It has to be a complete dismantling of the structure, redesign, introduce new political thought, and just keep going, because this whole thing, I don't know what it is. They're just kind of reinvent the wheel like thousands of times and nothing's going to change. But for me, as I said before, it's the UK that I think how we respond to this will shape. I think it will shape our politics for quite a while. Our international politics, because America's not our ally.
Well, we've already seen, like I said, Lammy's already bending the knee.
Lammy will say anything that he needs to say, and then I don't even know. I really feel like I have the potential to organize or collaborate with people who want to see Lammy out of office. Like, I'm really committed to it. I feel like if there's one thing that we can do as a community is get Lammy out.
You think it's got to that point?
I think so. We have to get him out. We have to get him out. And not in like a personal attack way where it's more as maybe it is a personal attack then. I don't know, because what else could it be? But I just think he's just not, you know what I mean? I need to be honest. Like, I think it is.
Tell the truth.
He's embarrassing regardless of what color you are, as a politician, you're not a good politician. You're not a good, you're not a good politician. For a politician who now represents Tottenham or Haringey or whatever,
Yeah.
this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You keep voting this person in. And then on top of that, our government is saying we're not entertaining the reparations conversation, but our foreign minister is someone from Guyanese heritage.
Yeah.
There's so many easy ways to get him out.
Yeah.
There's so many easy ways to get him out and make it a conflict of interest and make Starmer feel like Lammy being on the team, is too much of a distraction. Get him out. You don't need it. Why did he keep him on anyway in his new cabinet?
I don't know, I mean, he's been loyal, isn't it? Lammy's loyal. I mean, Lammy is loyal. He will say, this is one thing, this is a criticism. He'll say what he needs to say to stay in his job, right? To be foreign secretary. Like, it's okay to kill people in Gaza because, hey, that's what we need to do. Trump went from being a Nazi to being hey, congratulations, president. Lammy's very much the, he likes it in the house. Right? That's what I'm going to say about David Lammy. I don't know. I've been very, I don't mind criticizing black people. I have no problem doing it. But sometimes I try and be a bit more.
You see, this is what I think our problem is. And I get why you would, because you've got a responsibility. Do you know what I mean? You've got a responsibility politically, like everything, and I get it. But for me personally, I feel like we don't criticize the likes of Lammy enough.
You're right.
I don't think Lammy gets it in the way he should get. I think he gets it in a like, oh, behind closed doors, we laugh at him and we're like, oh, this loser. But really and truly, I don't think he feels the sense of, and maybe it's not the case. Maybe the black community in the UK doesn't dislike Lammy or isn't offended by him or doesn't believe that he's doing a bad job. Maybe that's the reality of it. And it's only a few of us that do. So therefore we're the minority. Or it's this thing with Lammy where it's just like, for some reason, we don't want to tell Lammy to get out. Yeah. I don't know what it is. There's something that we just don't want to tell Lammy it's time to go. You're not a good politician. You're not articulate. Right? Your ideas are jumbled.
Very.
And not in a neurodiverse way. Do you know what I mean? Not in a way where it's like, and not in a way where it's like, because some people might be like, you know what, and I get that, of course, there'll be patience, but you genuinely have no ideas. Because you're not attached to ideas, you're attached to the person in charge. And therefore, in 4K, we can see you go from one side to another. You're embarrassing. On top of that, you're a black man in a position of quote unquote power. You've done nothing. In my opinion, nothing. They might come back and always say, oh, knife crime, youth crime, back in the day, he was an advocate for it. And so what have you achieved? He's foreign secretary.
That's good for him.
Embarrassing. I just feel like Lammy needs to go. I think Lammy needs to go. And I think I'd rather Lammy go, at least let the politics be white people who are making mockery of the world. You know what I mean? At this stage, let it be the white people, let it be the privileged people, let it be the elites who are messing up so we can really say it's us versus them. When we have the Lammys, something about Lammy, I just really think it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. You're right, it's time. Like I said, because what I think for me has been Lammy, because he can be right sometimes and he's supporting sometimes. Like he gave a quote for Psychosis of Whiteness. He's kind of.
Oh, do you know what? Sorry.
You know what I'm saying? No, yeah, like
conflict of interest. My bad. These views I'm sharing are of Busayo Twins alone.
But because of that, I've been giving grace. I've been like, well, maybe you can bring people. You don't want to like just slate them and
you can compartmentalize.
Can you bring people in and change it? But I've given up. No, you're done. Lammy, you're done. I think it's time.
It's time, man. It is. If I'm being honest, there's a certain type of like person that Lammy represents, which is I think he thinks black people are dumb. I think that's where deep down I feel like my issue comes with him. He thinks that he can manipulate, gaslight, underachieve, be a puppet, and black people will not know any different. Yeah. That's where I'm tired of Lammy, because you think we're so stupid that we're going to keep voting you in, and we have been voting you in each time. Yeah. And you've done nothing substantial. You don't come out and say anything that we feel like, right, you're speaking truth to power in this climate. What he's using is the fact that he's seen as one-dimensional. So his whole arena is maybe like, not youth violence, but that kind of like, inner city, black people, institutional racism, police, that's his arena. And they can wheel him out anytime to discuss that. And then they wheel him back in. Once you go off script, once the conversation is no longer around inner city youth violence or that the economic hardship that affects Black people only, he has no purpose.
Yeah.
He hasn't fulfilled anything else. And he doesn't understand that we are also multidimensional people who, outside of living in inner city London or being Black, there's other things that we care about. That, again, our Blackness interacts with, which means that we suffer disproportionately. That David Lammy thinks we're stupid. David Lammy thinks that he can come there and gaslight us about Gaza. You know what I mean? He's someone who doesn't seem principled. And when you're not principled as a Black person in a position of power, it's dangerous. That's why I feel like the likes of Lammy needs to come out, because you have, just like Kemi, you have the power, the unique power to silence us in ways that white people can't.
Yeah. You're right.
You know, we don't have to qualify to have a point with white people in the same way that if David Lammy or Kemi shut us down, we would have to, because now we have to be like, oh, well, this Black person said this. And now we're in this place where we're, you know what I mean? We're just a whole week now of going, what do you think about Kemi Badenoch? Like, as a night. And I'm like,
you're right. Lammy's worse. Lammy's worse. Lammy's just because Kemi don't have no credibility with Black people, so whatever. But
I know, right? I know, right? At least her. Yeah.
One, he's foreign secretary, so actually is in power. Two, he does have credibility. We do vote him in. Tottenham is mostly Black people. And it's not like a one-off for Lammy. Like, he likes to call himself English, which is always a problem. Like, anytime you get a Black person who calls himself English, that's always a red flag. Like, that's a big red flag.
Yeah, just give him football t-shirts under pursuit.
The Gaza stuff is horrendous. This Trump stuff, like, he's supposed to be the big reparations person, and then gone quiet now, isn't it? Because he's in government, isn't it? That's has.
You know, we're not seeing the maturity of this politician.
Yeah.
After I don't know how many years has he been active for. Who knows?
It's a long time. Lammy's been around for a while. You know, he was with June Sarpong back in the day.
Oh yes, wow, yeah. My God, Sarpong in ages. But yeah, so you've been around for a minute, and there will always, no matter how harsh the criticism sounds of Lammy or the likes of them, there's always a beginning stage where we're actually very generous and we go, as a Black person, not easy. Let's see what you do. David Lammy has not shown political maturity. He hasn't shown someone who's learned anything and applied it in a different way. He hasn't shown that he's even been able to navigate politics in a useful way, other than him just sitting on different seats, knowing that you can't possibly know all about every single position that you've had. You have no integrity. The world is getting, do you know what I mean? They have no integrity. The world is getting to a point where you actually have to say something explicit and be direct. And he hasn't met the needs of the new political demands and environment. He hasn't met the needs. He no longer qualifies in a way that he might have before, because we were just happy to have someone in there. And I think that's what happens in the UK now. We're no longer just happy to have someone in there. In fact, we'd rather you not to be involved. In fact, I mean, we don't want representation in that way. Trust me. It's only women who you will see make pages and pages and pages on Instagram, online, going, the first woman this. Only women care about that. And nobody else do you ever see, apart from if it's like a trans representative, because obviously those are important. Those are actually like transformative things, and no one else really articulates and advocates for them in a way that speaks to their reality, which is why it's important. When it comes to Black people, we're not at that. We've gone past that stage of needing to be seen.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. It doesn't make sense. And you have someone like Corbyn, maybe Zara, Sultana, a few other people, and you have Lammy. They're talking about Black issues and, you know, global South issues better than you are. Why are you here?
But but that's what Lammy's done really well. Lammy has played the game, isn't he? He's foreign secretary. If Labour were going to have a Black prime minister, it would be probably Lammy's the only closest to it.
No,
you know, he's done, but that's the problem with, even with Kamala Harris, Obama, Lammy, everything, that it's a white system. So if you want to do successful and be in those positions, you have to be talking to white people. Lammy ain't talking to us. He ain't. He's not for us. That's just the reality. He's not for Black people. Can't be for Black people. You can't be for Black people and want to be foreign secretary of the United Kingdom. These two things they're incompatible, right? So I think we just have to give up on that minute.
But my last chance with them is I need to have a word with Tottenham. I just need a word, because I need to understand why they're voting him in. That's the only reason why he's there, really.
Yeah.
If you weren't voted in by your constituency, like, you wouldn't be there. So, yeah. That's my priority for next year anyway. I need to
Yeah,
get to the bottom of that. I need to get to the bottom of it. I just need to understand what's going on because again, it might just be that's what they like.
no, it's Labour. Innit? I mean, the thing is, he's the candidate. They're going to vote Labour. They're not going to vote Tory. But
Hmm.
but people are like, so Goss John. I don't know if you know Goss John, Professor Goss John, the academic,
Yeah.
got invited. I got invited actually. We got this invite to Lammy was having a Black History Month thing at the foreign office.
Mhm.
I got it and rolled my eyes. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Gosh, John got the invite, got mad, wrote this whole long letter.
I love Gus.
Bonning completely. Absolutely
He's, a,
horrendous. So I
he's
think
too
there's a lot of
sharp.
Lammy backlash coming, hopefully.
And I genuinely feel it. I feel it. I think the younger generation of people as well don't have the whole thing of, David Lammy, maybe back in the day he represented something. We have no memory
Yeah,
of your heyday. You know what I mean? And it's kind of that was kind of I think the similarity with like a lot of the black politicians is it feels like it's a very respectability thing.
yeah,
Where it's like our elders, which there's a place for that. And of course, we respect the fact that before we came here, you lot were doing stuff, enduring things that we don't even probably have the strength to endure. We understand what you've done and it will never be forgotten. But I think relying on respectability politics in the sense of because they're our elders and they were here before us only without constructive challenge or criticism, it's not helpful. And this is why you're going to have a generation of like or Gen Z or Gen Alpha who are going to start looking at our black politicians who we respect, like, sorry, who are you? You know, your whole claim, your whole political career, or at least the latter stage, cannot be you withstood racism in Parliament.
That gets you far though. It gets you far. Let's get you far.
Clearly, do you know what I mean? Clearly. But I think people are demanding something more where it's like, I understand that, but that can't be your politics. What is your politics? For all the black politicians, maybe like Dawn Butler, and maybe like Florence, and Belle. Is it Belle?
Yeah, Barbara Beer, yeah,
You don't know any of their politics, apart from the ones I've just named.
yeah.
Other black politicians or figureheads in the space. What is your politics though? Not what are you against? Not the fact that you hate that Nigel Farage is on the rise. Not that you hate the fact that even in terms of there should be safe routes for immigrants, of course. But where does that sit in your politics? What is the principle that is guiding that? And I think that's what they feel like. I don't understand it. I couldn't tell you a lot of these people's politics, most politicians generally, but
Yeah,
black
yeah.
ones, I'm like, so what do you think though?
Yeah. Well, one black politician we definitely know in politics is Kemi Badenoch. She's very clear. Where's it on the sleeve?
Yes,
Yeah,
Kemi.
he is now the leader of the Conservative. And I told like I hate being right. I was right about Trump. Trump's gonna be the next president, prime minister.
You hate being right, but you keep leaving your predictions around. You need to make money off it.
I know.
At least.
I really should have put a bet. Gone to the bookies.
No, genuinely, you might as well. You might be the richest black man after that because no one else has money. So
Challenging Mansa Musa with my political prediction.
yeah, literally.
But
Kemi.
Kemi's special.
She is, man. She's a special. I wonder. Luckily, she's been elected as she's now like she's the opposition, so we've got a bit of time. We've got a little bit of time. We've got a little bit of time
to
figure out the angle she's going to take now that she is the voice. I think when you're playing, I want to be the leader, you can say anything. But when you're actually the leader, you kind of, sometimes I feel like they're kind of mellow. Trump, they kind of mellow, a little bit. And they go, right, there's actually more to the economy than just hating ethnic minorities. There's actually more to this. Then once you tell us that we're using guilt and whatever to get reparations or whatever you're saying, you actually have to plan the economy. And I think I'd wonder what those kind of politics looks like as well, because that's probably where they forget that they need to think ahead. But the Kemi, Trump, Farage trifecta, Lord.
I mean,
that trifecta.
I mean, that's it because Farage is in Parliament. I mean, the dangerous thing with Kemi is that she can combine reform and the Tories because she's black. If you're a white man, can't do that. Because she's black, she can make friends with Farage. She can bring reform in. She can give it like a whole. Yeah, it's great. It's not racist. That's dangerous because she does that. They win the election. 100 every 100 times out of 100 they win the election.
And there's no coming back for a while.
Literally.
If that link up really works, Labour's gonna be on the bench for a minute. They might as well just all get second jobs and then come back later. No, because what's the point? They would have covered key bases. You've got the elites, the technocrat elites, the investment banker style landed elites, and then you've got the working class. Almost people who have been like in destitution, the ex-unions, like no jobs, like no investment on one side of the political sphere. What? Amazing. Like, what? How did you? That is amazing. That's literally like KKK and black people in one party. At least to get them out. because how that link up is amazing. Absolutely amazing link up.
That's what's gonna happen. It's actually frightening. It's frightening because even the idea that they mellow, she can't mellow because the only reason she's popular really is because she's black and she says these stupid things.
Yeah.
So she can't mellow. That's how she gets. That's how she is where she is. So I think she just gets more extreme. Would be my guess.
I feel like I would like to think. So those of us who are British citizens, I think we're going to irritate her the most because she can't get rid of us.
Yeah.
Unless she then looks into changing, like if you have dual nationality and your heritage, maybe that's the area she has to go. But for those of us who are not coming here because we're economic migrants or we're refugees or asylum seekers, you still have to deal with us.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to attack the most vulnerable. And in some cases, you probably get away with it. But those of us who are here, we're still your problem. And I would like to know what her plans are for us, apart from transforming the education system so we pledge our allegiance to the British state.
Yeah.
Why is that that's all she wants from us. She wants to condition a generation of people who feel so, but you can't. I genuinely feel like it's impossible to create what they created during like the Churchill war times, where it's like we are whoever we are and we're British. I don't think it's possible. I think it's impossible. I think it's a really impossible attempt, but I think she's going to try. And in that trying, she's going to create a lot of problems for everyone.
Yeah, the problem is, and the problem that actually the American election showed as well is, 86% of black people vote one way. In the UK, 75% of black people vote one way. It don't matter. Like, we actually don't matter. Like, it doesn't actually matter. Our vote does not matter, particularly here. We're all kind of in the same areas. There's only 3% of the population. That's why she can be so anti-us, because she don't need us, right? As long as she gets the white people to vote for her.
But that's how she was smart, because she's attached herself to causes that in numbers wise are bigger, that she can then infiltrate those causes and catch on. I think in this country, we are still trying to use the number of ethnic minorities in this country as an indication of how we should vote, or only if we vote a certain way it matters. No, you have to be strategic. You have to attach yourself to other movements that intrinsically empower you in certain ways. And it's not easy, because there's one thing that Britain's going to do is going to walk you halfway and say, bye, sorry, we needed you for this moment, but go. I have no doubt that whatever movement that we attach ourselves to, we're going to find problems.
Yeah.
I have no doubt. I have no absolute doubt. But the strategy, as what are we, 3%, 4% of the population, whatever it is, we need a different approach, man. Because the black politicians don't need us anyway.
Yeah.
And our issues are too specific to us.
Yeah.
For lack of a better words, for the whole of Britain to care.
Yeah.
So, and when I went, where did I go in the week? I went to like the United Family and Friends campaign.
Okay,
yeah. And there was a couple of speakers, and one of the speakers was talking about a trans person who had lost their life in prison or had committed suicide in prison or something. And it made me think that, like, even the state violence or police violence against Democrats, there's many people to link up with. Because state violence is such a big term that even the conversation about police brutality or police violence is still very much like reduced to youths in the city who are being shot by police and stuff like that, which is an important thing. It's very distinct. But to make change, it's time. it's time to like we need to link up with other movements because yeah, that's what Reform have done, and it makes sense. It makes so much sense.
Yeah, I mean it's worrying times. Worrying times. If you had to get rid of one politician, would it be Kemi Badenoch or David Lammy?
Get rid, Lammy.
You have to go. Which one?
Easy, Lammy. Easy, Lammy. Easy. Easy, Lammy, because on the basic level, I think you are an incompetent politician. I feel like if I didn't like you, but you're a great politician, there's a respect I could have for your political artistry and be like, you know what, not for me, but the way you've done your thing, I hear it.
Yeah.
There's nothing in Lammy where I can go, you know what, let me spud you at the end of our conversation that we'll ever have. I doubt it. Yeah. There's nothing you're offering Black people. You're uninspiring. You're occupying spaces and power that could be better used for people who are actually on the left or the center to make change. You're not even making change in a specific area. Like, what is your thing? Like what is the thing that can go, you know, I'm not good on this, but this is the thing that, you know what, let's get, he's so great. You haven't even got a thing, a unique niche. Kemi's one is more like, I'm not a conservative. I'm not even close to conservatism. So you don't impact me in any way. I don't really interact with you. What you represent is what I speak to. I can barely talk to who she is as a person, only as what you've been representing, what you say. Lammy's one feels like we've seen, and she seems quite new to the scene in a sense of, I've only heard of her maybe for the last 3 or 4 years, maybe the pandemic times, I'm not sure. Lammy, you've been here for a minute now.
Yeah.
At least give Kemi her 10 years of wastedness, and then she can go, Lammy, you're wasting time. I don't respect Lammy, and I think he genuinely thinks Black people are stupid, and that's the one thing I don't like. I think Kemi believes Black people are stupid, but she just doesn't rate Black people, and she's not trying to manipulate us. She said, you know, but I'm not one of you lot, you know. Like I know I'm Black, but I'm not one of you lot. Like, relax.
Yeah, there's no Black community. She's not even part of that. You know.
I guarantee you, in Lammy's like application for whatever political role he has, he's written he's for the Black community. Someone needs to release it. I need a Freedom of Information Act. How many times has he used diversity and inclusion to get his roles? That's my issue. Stop using us to get your roles, and you get there and do nothing for it. You know what I mean? Kemi's application has nothing to do with being Black. Unless she mentioned that Nigeria is too left wing. You know, her little bit that she might put. Lammy's one, he's using us to get to positions of power that just, yeah, that's me. What about you?
No, I agree. It's more dangerous. Like the Kemi's not for us. He's not. I mean, she can do more in some ways. I don't know. She can do more damage generally because, like I said, that link up with the right is pretty dangerous. Lammy, Lammy's not really for us. What's he really doing? I mean, he's foreign secretary. If there was a different foreign secretary, would it make any difference? I guess they're all pretty bad. At least Kemi's entertaining, right?
You know,
she's spectacularly entertaining in some ways, but Kemi, she doesn't understand why we don't like it. Like she generally doesn't get it why Black people don't like it.
She doesn't understand.
Apparently, Nels Abbey, the writer of the Guardian, he knows someone who knows her, and apparently she's confused. Like she doesn't get it. She's like, why aren't people happy for me? Why don't they like me?
She mistook us for like the previous African generation in the UK who were voting Brexit and them. You know, when there's that, like, especially my like parents' generation, it's like there's a generation of that I get why you would have thought them lot would have jumped on your bandwagon.
Yeah.
But they're also not online, so they're not going to come and defend you. They're defending you in the kitchen or at home. You're not going to see their defense. So her to not understand, fair enough, innit? She don't understand. But yeah, I don't know why she think we would like her.
She's Black. She's representative. I've seen some people I was surprised about, but kind of not necessarily supporting her, but congratulations. Oh my God, there's a Black equity organization. Who's this new organization, civil rights? They kind of model themselves on the NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. And they had a whole post. It's really great progress that Kemi Badenoch has been elected.
You see this organization, yeah? I don't want to be rude because obviously I haven't really worked with them. Like, I haven't worked with them personally.
Yeah.
But I believe that Lammy is a trustee, a board member, a founding father. That was my first strike when I saw that. And I said, no NAACP movement in the UK where Lammy is part of the founding.
Now you see Lammy just like, man, robot eyes.
You know what I mean? Because if the movement is powered by the intellectual ability of its leadership, we're stunted with Lammy at the top of that movement. That's what I felt. I felt like Lammy, he could not lead. It can't be. You can't be the head of that movement. So for you to say they've got a post now, congratulating Kemi.
I couldn't believe it. I read it. I was like, what? The second page is a bit like more critical. No, it's not really. I should find it. Really, it's so bad. No, I think I might actually find it. It is.
We're in rough times, you know. I feel like we're in rough time. I feel like the Black community in the UK, I'm always a bit concerned now.
But it's this representation thing, isn't it? I mean, this is, to be fair, like a bit of background on Black. So I actually had a job for research lead, and they contacted me, and I was, I talked about the job and that.
Yeah.
And I got the vibe I didn't want to do it. I was like, I don't think this is for me. And then seeing that post, I was like, well, I was really right. This ain't for me. That's
it has so much. I guess all these things always have potential, and you think they're going to do it, but I just think they'll end up in the same sphere as the Operation Black Vote.
Oh yeah, because they had a post too. OBV, Operation Black Vote.
They didn't. They said what?
It was like, this is a momentous thing. Theirs was more critical. So the second page of their post was a bit more critical, but they was still like, yeah, well done, like well done to Kemi, but try and be better. That was kind of what it was. The well done to Kemi, but try and be better. Which
I can't believe this. No, I actually can't believe this.
really?
These people have done. No, I need to go check this.
I really gotta find this. They maybe delete. They might. Hopefully, the Black Equity Organization deleted the post.
But for you to be the Black Equity Organization and your blunder was writing a quasi positive post about Kemi means that you're not in a position to lead the movement that you think you're going to lead. These are not the mistakes that one makes.
Yeah, it's not, is it? I think they're not. It's
not the type of mistake. It's not the type of mistake.
It's not the type of mistake that he should.
You know what I mean? It couldn't be.
And it might have gone. I can't see it no more. Maybe it's gone. Maybe it's gone. Maybe I don't know. But
it was the other one, Black Equity Org.
Black Equity Organization, yeah. But I can't see it on Twitter no more. So maybe it's gone. Maybe they took it down. Maybe they saw sense.
Gosh, yeah, maybe they saw sense, you know. I hope so. I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. All I can see
definitely a post because I saw it about own 2 ways. So I don't know if it's gone, but there was definitely a post at some point. Maybe it was Insta. But that does tell you, I think, about some of the problems that we have with, where are we going? What does leadership mean? What is representation? We're looking for Black people anywhere.
So yeah, so what is I'm asking you for your ideas, but so what is the plan for Black leadership in the UK? Like, now that we've got Kemi and clearly Lammy's still here, it would seem as though Diane Abbott is on her way out. I mean, not necessarily an active politician in the same way that she was, I would assume, but you never know. Obviously, she might stay on. Obviously, you got Dawn Butler, you got Florence, you got Belle. Who are the other ones? And probably others that I just haven't named or don't know them. But I know there's a couple. There's couple. There's 2 Black men. One Black man. Can't remember his name. Can't remember what he is. Anyway, like, what is the future of this? Like,
what? This is why I like Kemi, because Kemi is a perfect example of the stop. Like, what we doing? Like, Parliament, but it's not for us. Like, it's not for us. Like, it's not. This is why we're not that bothered about Trump, because it's not for us. It's America. Like, that's not the solution. It doesn't matter who's the president. On the big issue of are we going to be free? No man's life be different. We have to understand it's organizing us, like organizing ourselves. Like the leadership, we need to have the leadership ourselves in our communities. That's what it should look like.
Yeah.
And not rely on these people. Because the system, if you want to be successful in those white systems, you have to be, you're talking about white population, you're talking about, and that's racism, isn't it? Right? That's the point of these things. The White House is racism, Parliament is racism. Like, we were expecting way too much, which is why I would say Lammy is more dangerous, because we actually think he's doing something good when he's not. What's he do?
That's the thing. So maybe that's it then. Like, I think maybe, but this is maybe Kemi's I guess promotion represents the death of the Black politician.
Does it? Yeah, I wish it did. But
like as an aspirational post to have for if you want to make change in society, because I believe if you're going to be a black politician, just be a politician that's black.
Yeah.
So both ways, for us as people, don't expect anything. Like we also have to be like, I'm not expecting anything. And as a politician, also for them not to use their blackness or anything like that as a political game, whatever. Just be a politician and talk about, I don't know, congestion charge, like everyone else. Like don't try and give yourself another angle. Like it's okay. We don't need you to talk about our issues. You know what I mean? It's fine. Because I think Kemi has single-handedly silenced that narrative.
Yeah. But I think but then you've got people like Dawn, obviously Dawn Butler, who is black, does talk about black stuff.
Dawn is great. I genuinely love Dawn, but I'm thinking it'll be interesting to see how black politicians in the Labour Party see themselves. Because I guess your role doesn't always have to be the Prime Minister. Your role might just be there to ensure that anyone who comes in can't just close off the conversation regarding like racism and all that stuff. There's always going to be someone there that's going to keep you on your toes to a degree. But I would wonder from their perspective, do they think they're going to be promoted more than they are now? Like, have they reached the ceiling as well, which is you can be an advisor, you can be a figurehead, you can be a symbol, but fundamentally, if we are looking for change, what else can we expect of them to do?
Yeah, I think that's the problem. Is someone like Dawn or Bell, you're not going to be in the cabinet. Like, there's a reason Dawn Butler isn't in the cabinet and David Lammy is in the cabinet because Dawn just tells the truth, right? She'll say things, she'll represent us, it's very clear, and there's a ceiling. But still having a figure like Dawn is still useful, right? Still for the politics, for the idea, exactly. For her Black History Month speech the other day was powerful and stuff. So I guess there's still a role for politics, but I guess we should start thinking that's going to save us. And the Labour Party definitely going to save us. But no politician can. But can they use? Is there things they can do as part of a wider movement to be beneficial? Maybe we should get Dawn on. We should get Dawn Butler on.
We should.
I'm sure she'll
I really like Dawn.
Yeah.
I think I really like Dawn. I really like how she's managed to like carry herself and quote unquote survive.
Yeah.
It's not the easiest political context to be in. I think there's a version of British politics where it could have been a lot more smooth sailing for her. But I feel like anyone who's a politician now who has some sort of integrity, it's like, wow, you've had to navigate and be flexible and evolve in ways that even surpassed your initial thoughts going into this. So I can always respect that. And I think she does really well to be on the ground. Yeah. I think she's one of the only politicians that actually Belle as well, because she was at that campaign, you will see like one or two of them on the ground. They're actually at certain events, not every event, but they're actually there, they're around. And I think that will bode well with them in whatever they want to do. But I think there's something about, well, two things. I think we don't have enough like politicians turning like think tanks, like turning into people who create think tanks.
Yeah.
I feel like we don't want to occupy that space of political influence. It's like we are either the disgruntled citizens, or we're like the 1 in 5 black politicians. There's no in between. When there's a whole ecosystem of political activity that we might fare better in because we like to influence culture. We can influence discourse. We don't necessarily have to be the person saying it. It doesn't benefit us if I can imagine a whole parliament that is white or not black and the same conversation's happening. I don't think the black people's voices in there have necessarily needed to have advanced it in the same way. But offline, I mean, outside of Parliament, because of their cultural capital, they fare a lot better. They have a lot more power. And that's where like Dawn Butler are a lot more powerful. I don't think it's necessarily in the chambers themselves where we make the most noise or impact. But I do think outside of that, there's a lot more. And I think think tanks, we need more of these type of think tanks and movements and I guess podcasts. And, I think that is where the power of the black political discourse will lie.
Yeah.
Needed. The question times, we said this last time, like the question times that we need when it comes to election time, all the black politicians must come and sit in front of, you know what I mean? Let's hear from them as well. We don't hear from them.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
We don't really hear from them. Like, I want them to dissect political, I want them to dissect policies in such a like detailed way that they're never afforded because their job is to be rolled out to talk about some sort of race thing. You know what I mean? And it's like, we don't know how intelligent our politicians are. They could be incredibly intelligent, but we wouldn't know because the mainstream media never gives them the chance to dissect the budget. Do you hear
Yeah.
any black politician dissect the budget?
Yeah.
At best, they say it's going to disproportionately impact low-income households and black people. We
Yeah.
know, like we get it. It's bad for us. What is good for us? So I think that's something that I just feel we need to enter a space where we fare better, and maybe being a politician. Of course, everyone should be a politician anyway. Well, not everyone. Anyone who wants to be a politician, whatever, go for it. But I think as black people, there's just like, for example, you have, I guess you will have a lot of the same type of reputation or power that a politician could have, but you're not a politician. But your names would be amongst those people that we would look to for direction.
But I guess it depends on what you want to do. That's the thing in it. Like, what's the project? So if you have someone like Lammy, he would say, "Well, look, I'm foreign secretary. I got power. We can do stuff," and that's kind of the goal. But is that really the goal? I don't know. I think you're right.
I just don't think Lammy has made a decision.
Well, that's it. Because the problem is, if you want to get into those positions, you have to. He's made decisions, but he's made the decisions to get into that position. Anti-black decisions because of so it's not. There's no way. That's inevitable.
You're right.
And you're right that what we've missed out is that political power isn't in people representation. Political power is, can you, no matter what color the politicians are, do you have mechanisms to influence them? So that can be think tanks. So think tanks are hugely important in terms of ideas. You know, neoliberalism is an idea that people push behind the scenes for ages and ages and ages and ages, and it becomes like the dominant thing, and that is dominant. Do you have like voting? I mean, voting blocks is important, but economic power. You know, if we're only 3% of the population, but if we're 3% organized, that's actually quite a lot of people.
It's quite a lot of people.
You know what? If you don't do this, we will do this. They don't matter what color the politicians are.
Exactly.
Actually, the external stuff we haven't done. We've just relied on, can we get some black people in parliament? And that's going to be the thing that's going to save anybody.
Exactly. No, you're right. You're definitely right. I think that's just maybe that, and this is the benefits or the silver linings of such a disastrous global economic political system that we live in, is that it creates the urgency now to put pen to paper and redesign and reapproach how we navigate politics. I think when things are just normal to a point where it's still bad, but it's normal, you haven't got the energy or the desire to change things because you're just like, yes, normal and bad. But now it's like Trump is here, between Trump, as we said, between Kemi, between Nigel Farage, between Netanyahu, and whichever leaders are around, like, it's people's ideas are going to start bubbling. And I think this is why it's no coincidence that I think online a lot more people are like having these discussions now about actually what's going on, because it's been so relentless. It's been so relentless, just how aggressive political discourse has been. And in my life, I've never had it where it's like for 365 days alone, politics. I've engaged with politics. There were years where I went without. Like there were years where it was like, well, same old, or now it's like every day, everyone's just being really politicized. Right.
That's a good note of optimism to end on. Is that, look, this is what we need. We need to be upset. We need to be mad. We need to be Trump was actually going to help us be mad. Kemi will help us be mad. And that's all we need. Be mad. That's it. Organized. That's it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Optimism. We ended on optimism, started on cloudy, ended on optimism.
That's what we do. That's the black people's way, isn't it? And then we give our tithes at the end.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Give your time to bloody make it play. Go subscribe. Like, subscribe. Put some money in the account. That's what we need.
Exactly.
And then we need a name. So yeah, people do have ideas for names of this section, these features that we do. Please do. MIP@blackunity.org.uk or Twitter, Insta, even questions. Maybe we should do mailbag too. If anybody got questions, any questions they want to ask.
Yeah, any questions for us?
So yeah, email is mip@blackunity.org.uk. Please do send, engage, get in touch. This will be a regular thing. So yes, and stay positive, right? Yeah, could be worse.
Famous last words. Yeah.
And if not, end times are coming anyway. So
exactly.
Yeah. All right.